We are back at Pet Network here in Incline Village. We're now out in the boarding yard, and I have Caleb Knapp here. He is the Director of Operations. Thanks for joining me.
Of course.
So tell me about this yard. What's going on here?
Well, we're having a group play pack right now for our boarding and daycare animals that come to our facility.
So it isn't just a shelter to rescue animals. You also can take care of the community's dogs that belong to families.
Yes, we do. We offer it 7 days a week from 7:30 in the morning till 6 p.m. They get multiple outings during the day, about 5 outings in total. 2 of those being extended play packs, lasting about an hour each. And they're always with an attendant out here interacting with the dogs. And one of the great things about having them here at Pet Network is your daycare funds and your boarding funds go straight to Pet Network Humane Society to support our life-saving cause of bringing in more animals off euthanasia lists and supporting the animals that are in the shelter.
So it's almost a donation. It's like you're,
Exactly.
You're a charity. Like
You're helping out the shelter, and while your animal's having fun here in daycare or overnight boarding with us.
So what would you say are some of the concerns that families might have about boarding the pet? What would be the questions that they would ask you that you can, reassure them?
Well, I guess one would be, is there a vet on staff if anything were to happen? And yes, we do have a vet here 7 days a week for the most part. She does take some weekends off, of course, but she's here at a moment's notice to do anything that we need if anything were to happen. That we do have an attendant here at all times when the dogs are in care.
I heard something about maybe with the upgrading of the facility that there would be some cameras that you're going to be able to see around the facility inside some of the shelter rooms?
That is for our shelter animals. We don't have that in our boarding department yet. That's something that we might be looking into getting, of course. I mean, it'd be great for you to be able to take a peek at your animals during play out here in the yard or in the kennels while they stay.
Or not. You just don't have to worry about them. They're super happy and healthy here, clearly.
Yes.
So what's the reservation process? How far in advance, and what do people have to bring with their pet?
For boarding, for daycare, it's usually a walk-in, except at holiday times, you want to reserve at least a couple weeks out. If you're doing overnight boarding for holidays, like upcoming holiday Thanksgiving, you're going to need maybe a month for a notice. We book up really quick. Everyone loves Tahoe. So the requirements are they need to be fully vaccinated with Bordetella, distemper, and rabies, and they have to be spayed or neutered if they're over a year old. And dog friendly, of course. We want to be able to enjoy a group playtime. So we don't want to have them all segregated and only going out by themselves if they're not getting along with other dogs. So.
And does the same program for the boarding work with cats too? Can I board my cat?
We don't offer cat boarding. We have our volunteer coordinator who does in-home care services on her own time. It's just super stressful to bring a kitty into a boarding facility. They end up going downhill, so we try to avoid that.
Excellent.
One thing I do want to bring up, though, is that we do have grooming 7 days a week.
Ooh.
So while your dog's here doing the boarding and daycare, you can bring them clean home after a day of play. So.
And you can also just call for just grooming if you don't need the daycare, right?
Of course, yes. Do call in, make a reservation. Grooming does book up rather quickly, just like our boarding department. So it's 775-832-0273, same number for grooming, boarding, daycare.
And it's also all of the money goes towards the shelter and saving the animals.
Both departments, all the money goes directly to the shelter, yes.
That is wonderful. So again, tell me how, you just gave the phone number, but is there also a website, or is the best way to just make the phone call?
Well, anyway, we have email. You can email at grooming@petnetwork for grooming, boarding@petnetwork for boarding. Visit our website, petnetwork.org, or call the phone number that I stated.
You are making that very, very easy, aren't you? Well, Caleb, thank you so much for joining us, and this has been so much fun. I mean, the puppies are clearly having a great time. You probably want to go play with them, don't you?
I always do.
All right, well, thanks for joining us. All right, we'll be back with more. Back to the studio.